Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Mang Liaoning, homage to Master Sakya Tsongkhong, homage to the 16th Dharma King Karmapa, and homage to Master Dukden Dorji, homage to the three jewels of the altar, and homage to the main deity of group practice today, the yellow Jambala, the yellow wealth deity. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, all disciples present here and over the internet. And our participating VIPs today are from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Taiwan, Secretary General Daniel Liao's wife, Dharma Sister Judy. Accountant to the True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa. The law advisor to the True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Jennifer Zhou. From the True Buddha School Scholar Group from National Cheng Kung University, and Professor in EE, Dr. Wang Li. From CTI TV Taiwan, producers for the Geni Diansang Shinten, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiyachi. And from the Sunny Line Dance Group of Taiwan, Dharma Sister Lin Yixuan. Good evening, everyone. How do you do? In Cantonese. Today, we practice Jambala, the wealth deity or fortune god. And as I remember, a long time ago, my guru told me that most of the wealth deities were transformed from the four heavenly kings, or from the heavenly beings, or from the mountain gods. He once said that in the ocean, the dragon king god is the richest, and on earth is the Prithvi Deva, earth god, is the richest, and the mountain gods are the richest. And in heavens, the four heavenly kings are considered to be the richest. So, actually, think about it. Where do the riches come from? Actually, they came from the earth. Like the wealth of the farmers would come from their land, and the farmlands would produce all kinds of fruits and grains and produce. They came out from the earth. And the precious gems and jewels also came from the earth. The most expensive one, like diamonds, gold, all the precious metals came from the earth. and the precious gems also from the earth. So if you think that the properties, the houses, are expensive, or especially the luxury homes or manors, that's like millions or $1 billion, they all came from the earth. All the construction materials also came from the earth. And also the most expensive cars like Lamborghini or Ferrari, sports cars like Rolls-Royce or Bentley, all the materials used to build them also came from the earth. So all wealth comes from the earth. Everything belongs to the earth. So even the heavens of the four heavenly kings also are not separate from the earth. And the most important and the central mountain is Mount Sumeru. And halfway up the mountain Sumeru is the heavens of the four heavenly kings. And on top is a flat roof, a flat platform, and then in the middle it's a little bit slim, and then it would enlarge again at the bottom. So that's Mount Sumeru. It is formless, intangible, but it is considered to be a mountain. And on the four directions, north, south, east, and west, are the four heavenly kings. So the palaces, one is made of crystal, made of gold. So a palace made of gold, silver, or from all the jewels and precious gems. They are all beautiful and luxurious. So the four heavenly kings are the wealthiest. And Jambala is the north of the heavenly king. So the heavenly king of the north, which is Vaishravana, Viruddhaka, Virupaksa, and Dhritarashtra. So those were the four heavenly kings who are the wealthiest. So if you pray or you ask for wealth, then you need to pray to them. And in the ocean, we can offer the Dragon King treasure vase in order to gain some wealth. And in the human world, at least you can pray to the earth god, and he's considered to be the fortune god. And Prithvi Deva is considered the earth god of the great earth. And in the heavenly realm, the four heavenly kings, and also the mountain gods, they are the wealthiest. China has five. So 5 directions, so north, south, east, west, and center, and considered into 5 mountains, and Wu is considered the greatest mountain god, a great mountain god. Like Taisan belongs to the eastern Yi. So Taisan Fujun is also a great fortune god. And mountain gods are all very rich. So in the intangible realm, the wealthiest ones, of course, are Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So they don't have tangible wealth. But the tangible wealth, typically belongs to the human realm. So the intangible wealth belongs to the heavenly realm, and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are considered the wealthiest because they have the non-leaking wisdom, and wisdom is considered to be as wealth, is considered as wealth. So the non-leaking wisdom, meaning that they have all sorts of wisdom, or all-encompassing wisdom. So that's called the non-leaking wisdom, is considered the highest kind of wealth. The 8 primary deities in Buddha school, because many people need or want to ask for wealth, so that's why Jambala is listed as one of the 8 primary deities. That's the primary reason. So we entice people through fulfilling their desires for wealth before they walk the real cultivation path. And in Tantrayana, and then finally they could enter into the wisdom of the Tathagata. So in the Vimalakirti Sutra, it was mentioned that in order to deliver sentient beings, we use all the convenient Dharma, or the skillful means. So actually, this convenient Dharma are also the enlightenment Dharma, because once you gain spiritual response in the well Dharma practice, then you gain faith and commitment to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So inadvertently, you have learned all the practice procedures or the rituals, and you laid down the foundation by performing the well deity Dharma practices. So that's why in Tantrayana we also say that convenient Dharma is also enlightenment Dharma, and that afflictions is also buddhi or enlightenment. So we could explain it that way. So although you're practicing the convenient Dharma, but when you ultimately it would become enlightenment Dharma. So although you have afflictions, but eventually they also would become enlightenment. So today we will continue talking about the Great Perfection Dharma, page 64. At this moment, Sakyamuni Buddha attained wisdom's liberation, and this is the same as the non-leaking wisdom. So all the celestial palaces, Mara or demon palaces, the realms of the celestial beings and sentient beings, all became the realms of great light radiance, including the Iron Gate mountain in hells was showered by the lights. So this kind of majestic power of Buddhahood can lift up all of the universe. In a blink of an eye, the trees in the world blossom and bear fruits, and the sky becomes completely pure. All is clear and lucid. All is clear and lucid. So this is the phenomena at the time of Sakyamuni Buddha's enlightenment. So Sakyamuni Buddha, Buddha's left hand is holding an alms bowl, and his right hand is extended and touching the ground. This kind of mudra, there are two mudras here. One is holding an alms bowl, and the other right hand is touching the ground. It's the mudra of touching the ground, which is to let all the great earth witness that today Sakyamuni Buddha has gained enlightenment. So the whole earth would be the witness that Sakyamuni Buddha has attained enlightenment on this day. So which one is Sakyamuni Buddha? The first one. So is his right hand touching the ground? Yes, exactly the same as Grandmaster said. The right hand touches the ground, and the left hand is holding an alms bowl. So the great earth is the witness. So that's also convenience. Convenience is the same as enlightenment. So he used the conveniences to prove that he has attained Buddhahood. So the whole great earth is the witness to his Buddhahood. And there's also the infinite lights that appeared. So this is the record of his Buddhahood, his attaining Buddhahood. So including the heavenly realms, the 28 heavens, and under the earth, which is the iron gate of mountain in hells, will all become filled with lights. So all the realms up and down and all over are filled with clear light radiance. That's what Buddhahood is about. Everything is just light radiance. So why in our spiritual cultivation we don't gain this clear light radiance up above and all over? Why is it impossible? Actually, by performing the 9-cycle Buddha breathing, we are actually training on this clear light radiance. Don't undermine this 9-cycle Buddha breathing. It's very simple. So the white clear light enters into our body, becoming red, and circle once, and then all the black stuff from your body is emitted out. So clear light coming in, clear light from the deity, from his nostril, a ray of light entering into your right nostril, circle once, and then from the left nostril, a black energy, a black air was emitted out. So the white clear light enters and the black smoke exits. And next is from the deity's left nostril, a ray of white light emitted to enter into your left nostril, circle once, and then from your right nostril, a black smoke was emitted. So you need to visualize this way, which means that you exhaled all the black smokes from your body, and you inhale all the white light into your body, like both nostrils, one circle, go up to the top of the head, and then back down and circle once more, and then from both nostrils, the black chi was emitted. And with full concentration, you visualize 9 cycles. So the white enters and the black exits. And after training for a long period of time, you would dream. You would dream that your skin pores open and all the black insects crawl from your body. Then your body has been purified. So that's also practicing purification. That's also practicing light. So in Buddhism, eventually you practice light. And Great Perfection Dharma too, at the end you also practice the clear light radiance. Why a human being does not have the clear light radiance? There are 3 phenomena. But first let me share a joke. A policeman caught a Thai who was on a drug dealer and on the street, and because of language barrier, they use an interpreter. So please tell, where do you hide the 10 million? Otherwise, I would shoot you. And finally, the drug dealer replied, said, okay, I hid it under the seats in the car. And then the interpreter interpreted saying that, okay, if you dare, you can shoot. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how, I wouldn't tell. So even the interpreter has some greed. So he basically says that, so the cop can shoot the drug dealer, and then he knows now where the money is. Of course, the interpreter has greed, and the drug dealer also has greeds too. So if you get involved in the drug business, typically it's because of greed. And simply said, that means that your heart and mind is dirty. There's a kind of people on earth that cannot have attainments in their spiritual cultivation, is when they have dirty hearts. So when their hearts are dirty, this kind of people cannot have attainments in spiritual cultivation. In Tantrayana, we explain it this way, like a bowl. It's a good bowl, and it is upright. However, inside the bowl, it's dirty inside the bowl. When you pour clean and pure Dharma milk, it would get dirty, so they will not have any attainments in the clear light radiance because the bowl is dirty. Even the clean and pure Dharma milk is poured onto it, it would become dirty. And that's why the deity cannot gain any spiritual response with you, cannot be in yogic union with you, because your heart is dirty, so the deity could not enter into you. So you could not be in spiritual union with the deity. But if you have purified yourself, then naturally you would gain the spiritual union with the deity, even without striving for it. Naturally, you would be. Someone passed by some cemetery and saw some light that he heard as the light of ghosts. So he threw some rock, and then that light moved to another tombstone. And then he hit and he threw the stone there too. And then he heard something.
我撒一泡尿都不行，
How,
点一根
how
烟
can't you just
就挨
let
了
me?
2个枕头，那个挨了
Why
2
can't
个
you
撞
just let me be? I just want to pee.
他点一根
And
烟啊
with the
点
cigarette,
点一根烟就
with
像
the cigarette in his hand, so it looks like a light that can
在
move.
这边点一根烟，才点一个烟，
So the cigarette's
走了2次。
light was moving and was thought to be the light of the ghost.
这个怎么解释呢？
So how do you explain that?
他其实像这种要解释这个来讲是这样子的。
So this is how we
本来
would
人
explain
间呢
it.
有分成善跟恶，
In this world, there are differentiations between good and bad, white and black.
那你如果是黑的，
So if you are
就要
black,
把它变成白的，变
then
成
you
光，
need to change it to become white, to become clear light radiance.
白的不能去沾到黑的，黑的也不能沾到白。
So the black one should not touch the white one, and the white one should not touch the
讲
black
白句话
ones.
就是说，你是白的，但是你始终跟黑的在一起，
So if you're
到最后
white
你会变成
and you're always together with the black one, then eventually you would
黑的
become
要
black.
变成跟白的在一起，它还是黑的。
But the black one, together with the white one, would stay black.
白的比较少，
So the white ones are more at this disadvantage, and the white ones are fewer than the black ones. And in this world, if
混在一起
they are either white or black, but if they're together, they become black.
就是在
So that's why it is very difficult to succeed in our spiritual cultivation,
很少。
because there are very few people who are pure or clean,
净化的也少，
and those who could understand the pure Dharma are also few.
这一点是比较难。
And so that's why this is rather difficult.
这个几个笑话，这个都很难讲。
So we have several jokes that's hard to say.
儿子
The
啊，
dad
以后叫
com-
你
commanded
记
the
得
girl.
第一次约会要选在游泳池。
Okay, when you have a date with a girlfriend, make sure that your date is by the
在
swimming
游
pool.
泳
Why?
的时候才能够素颜，你看到他的素颜。
Because only when you're swimming that you would be able to see her real face.
掩饰身材。
And in a swimming suit,
游泳的装，他的
you
身材
know,
完全都出来
then you can tell her figure.
最重要的是，
And
如
most
果
importantly,
教他学会了游泳，以后
once you
结了
teach
婚
her how to
他就
swim,
不会问你
after
溺
marriage,
水的时
she
候
wouldn't
要
ask
先救
you
我还是先
that
救我
if
救你妈
she's
妈，
if
这种纯问题就不
your
存在
mom and I are both drowned, who would you say first? Then you would not be asked such stupid question.
你就不能化妆。
So in swimming pool, you cannot keep your cosmetics,
他的完
your
全
makeups.
真面目你都看得一清二楚。
Then you would be able to see her real face.
然后他穿上游泳衣，你也看得
And
一
if
清二楚他的身
she's
材。
wearing the swimsuit, and you would be able to see her figure really clearly.
看人
That's
就
a
是要
good
这样
way.
讲你要看得他一清二楚。
So you need to see someone clearly like this.
所以你要清楚明白啊，
So
你自
you
己
need
未来的
to
对象就要带他
to
去
see clearly your future spouse. In order to see clearly, you
这
need
是
to
很好的。
take her to the swimming
你要
pool,
看
to
清
go
楚
swimming
明
in the
白
swimming pool.
他的身材，
This is
他的
good
素颜是什么
because
样
you need to see clearly her
因为你如果
figure,
相
her
亲的
real
时候他一定
face.
化妆化的，你看起来像天
Otherwise,
仙一
on
样
a date, they would put on
等到你跟他
makeups
结
and
婚的时候，你
all
发
the
现
outfits
上
that she looks like a goddess. But after you get married, then you realize
所以我
that
们每一次啊，
you were tricked.
肮脏的碗就是要洗干净，
So a dirty bowl has to be washed clean,
用佛法
and you need to do it
洗得非常
frequently.
干净。
Using Buddha Dharma, you wash the bowl until it's become very clean. And then you could tell if the bowl is clean or dirty. This is very important. And there's another kind of bowl
覆盖的碗，
that don't believe in Buddha Dharma at all, and that's the bowl that's
碗
turned
本来是
upside
朝上
down.
的，它
So
就
a
可以
bowl is upright, then you can
佛菩萨
you can receive the Dharma milk, and then
覆盖的碗，
the lights of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas can be seen clearly.
不信佛，其他宗教
But
任何宗
if
教
the bowl is turned upside down, then
覆盖的碗，
they don't believe in anything. They don't believe Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, religions, or no faith.
宗教，我们不
They
讲
have no affinity with religion, not just Buddhism, Catholicism, Christianity, Muslim, Judaism,
不管你是什么教，
Orthodox.
你这个完全没有宗
Doesn't
教
matter what kind of faith. They have no faith whatsoever.
他也没
So
有办法
that's the bowl turned upside down. So they cannot be salvaged or they cannot be delivered because they cannot accept any teachings. They just follow their own
化流
opinion.
到他的身体，
So the Dharma flow cannot enter
看
into
下
them.
面的笑话啊，
Let's see if we have jokes about spiritual union.
小明站在铁匠铺旁边看铁匠打铁，
So Xiaoming was
铁
standing
匠有些
next
讨
to an
厌，
ironsmith,
便拿
and
出烧红的铁，
and the
凑
ironsmith
到小明面前吓唬他。
despised him,
小明
and then so he took like a
眼睛
red
眨了一下，说
hot iron
你给
and
我100
pointed to Xiaoming,
我就敢舔一舔它。
and Xiaoming said,
舌
"If
头
you
舔
give
舔
me
它
$100,
哦这个铁匠
then
便
I
马
can
上拿
lick
100块钱给小
that red hot
哎
iron
给
rod."
小明，
And
小
the
明接过
ironsmith
钱用舌头
immediately
舔
took
了一下
$100
就
to
放进
him.
口袋走。
And then Xiaoming just licked the money and then placed it in his pocket and left.
所以有时候你看表面是看不出来的，
So
你
sometimes,
看一个表面，
superficially, you cannot tell.
明明我拿的是红色的铁在你面前，你说你敢舔一
So
下
I
给我100块我就敢舔。
I take a red hot
讲
iron
说我要
and
舔
said, "Can you lick
红色的
can you lick it? If you can lick it, I'll give you $100."
100块美金给他的时候，那
So he didn't lick the iron, but instead he just licked the dollar bill and then put it in his pocket and left.
那这个怎么讲？就是拒绝，
So
就是一种拒绝，
so that's a kind of rejection,
也是一种巧妙的一种拒绝。
but it's a really skillful
啊，我
rejection.
记得我以前在问事情的时候，在帮人家问事，
I remember
有一
before,
个老太婆带她的孙子
when I provided a
小
consultation,
外婆来问事，啊，孙子
an old lady and took her grandson coming in for spiritual consultation.
看到佛堂以后，他就走出去门外，坐在门外。
So the grandson, and after they saw the altar, went out
要我问
and
事，
stayed outside the door. But the lady kept calling him to come in because she wanted to ask questions about him.
老太婆到最后就
But he didn't want to come in.
啊，到最后我也出来问他说你为什么不进来呀？
So I
既然你要问事，
I
为什么不进来？
went out and asked him, "So you asked for spiritual cultivation, why didn't you come in?" And he said,
我不迷信，
"You know, I've graduated from high school and now I'm in college.
到大学，
So I'm not superstitious, so I don't need spiritual consultation."
读
because now I'm in college. So I found it interesting. The more knowledge you have, the more educated you are, the less you believe in Buddhism. Most Buddhists are elderly ladies, and those who recite sutras in temples are those that are about to die because they just want to go to the Western paradise. But the young, the educated, the knowledgeable, they're not superstitious and they don't believe in any faith. That's the bowls that's turned upside down. They don't believe in anything. Then it would be impossible to deliver or salvage them. That means they have no affinity. So there's dirty bowls or bowls turned upside down, and they both cannot be delivered. In school, Xiaoming passed a note to Xiaogang, and the teacher saw that and was very angry and asked, "Why did you pass note?" And the teacher took a look at the note, and it said that the teacher is really beautiful. And when the teacher read that, and she said, "Well, pass it on." So people crave praises. People crave praises. If you say something unpleasant, then they would turn their backs against you. They don't want to listen. So when you say praises, it's easier to be accepted. If you say something negative, then people would turn their backs against you. So there's a saying, don't force into anything. So in Buddhism, we always say, just go with the flow, be natural. If you force it, then it's not good. For example, everyone has his or her own character or personality. Some people you can kid around and joke around, and that's okay. And some people you can't joke around with, then never joke with them. And there's some people that have some sensitive areas that please don't touch that, like say their privacies or secrets, please don't ever touch those. Don't touch those areas. So that's how it is. Everyone has some weaknesses. There is no one that has no shortcomings or weaknesses. So these shortcomings or weaknesses, it's like cracks or chips in the bowl. A complete or perfect bowl has no shortcomings. But if there is cracks or chips in the bowl, but if there are cracks in the bowl, then the Dharma milk would leak. So there are three kinds of people that cannot be delivered. One is dirty bowls, bowls turned upside down, or broken bowls, because then the Dharma milk would leak from the bowl. Because a human being would always have some deficiencies. So in our spiritual cultivation, we want to correct and improve ourselves and to change the bad tendencies so that we become a perfect bowl, become a clean bowl. And only then you would be able to accept the radiance from the deities, and then you yourself become clear light radiant, and that would be called spiritual union. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas always emit a clear light radiance. And look at the lineage gurus from the great perfection Dharma, the Prahivajra, the first one in the human world, and then Manjushri Mitra, Sri Singha, Guru Padmasambhava, and the Tibetan king Trizong Trijang, and his consort, Ishi Choka. They emit boundless radiance, clear light radiance. All the lineage gurus of great perfection Dharma would generate boundless clear light radiance. Like Manjushri Mitra became rainbow light. Prahivajra too also transformed to become light, and Manjushri Mitra too. And Sri Singha to Guru Padmasambhava. And also King Trizong Trijang and Ishi Choka all generate or transform to become light. And Sakyamuni Buddha too became just pure clear light. So there are only two things in spiritual cultivation, is to eliminate your bad spiritual tendencies or bad habitual tendencies, to become a clean bowl, and then you fix the defects or the cracks or the chips in the bowl to become a perfect bowl. So first, you cleanse and throw out all the filth and the dirt and the afflictions, then you become a clean bowl. So in Buddhist studies and spiritual cultivation, there are only these two things. So habitual tendencies, afflictions, obstructions due to knowledge, that would become the bowls that turn upside down. If you think that you're knowledgeable and you think that all religious practices are superstitious, then that would be bowls turned upside down. Then you're obstructed by your own knowledge. And then obstructions due to afflictions, that's your habitual tendencies. You need to cleanse them. And then you fix all the defects. That's spiritual cultivation. At the public bus, a man showed his love to the woman, and there are a lot of people on the bus. And the man said that, I like you. Can you be my girlfriend? And he stepped forward and getting ready to kneel. And as he was doing that, his fly opened, and he got embarrassed. And she said that, oh, I haven't agreed, and yet your little brother couldn't wait. It's not so funny, but everyone on the bus laughed. So between a man and a woman, there are a lot of jokes about a man and a woman. That's the joke that I heard. Why the man doesn't get mad cow disease? I say crazy cow, but actually in English it's not called crazy cow. The answer is because men are pigs. Because men are all pigs. So they're not cows. And because pigs, of course, they don't get mad cow disease. That's a riddle.
男女之间的笑话非常的多。事实上，这个贪
There are a lot of
跟
jokes about man
都
and
非
woman,
常难避免。
but actually
贪心呢，非常难。
it is hard to avoid greed, anger, delusion, pride, and doubts. Like greed, it's really hard to avoid being greedy. If you can avoid them, that means you have transformed your greed. And how do you transform it?
为他人想，自他
Think,
就可以转化。
think for the others. So exchange place with others. So you're always greedy for other people's things because yours is already yours. So you just want other people's stuff. So if you want other people's things, would they be willing? No. So you exchange place with the other person. Would you want to give what you have to other people? No. Then think about it. Then, of course, the other person will not give it to you. If you don't want to give it to other people, why would the other people want to give it to you? So if you often think this way, you exchange places or put yourself in other people's shoes, then your greedy thoughts would diminish. The same thing with anger or hatred. If you get angry, would other people accept that? No. And if he gets angry, would you accept that? No. So maybe it's best that if everybody don't lose temper, then you have no more anger. And the same with foolishness or ignorance or delusion. If you cannot transform greed and anger, then you are deluded. You cannot transform greed, you cannot transform anger, then of course you are deluded. Ignorant or foolish. So by being greedy, you fall into hell, and by having anger or hatred, you would go to the hungry ghosts. But being ignorant or deluded, you'll fall into the animal realms, and they are in the 6 rebirth realms. So spiritual cultivation is like this. Of course, Sakyamuni Buddha's enlightenment is not as simple as I said, but spiritual cultivation, the foundation starts from this. Speech and mouth is the most important part. What you say with your mouth, what you say, what you express with your mouth can create greed, anger, and hatred. And also your actions, your expressions. This is very important. There's this joke, just for laugh. I have a wish since I was small. When I grow up, I would have money that I can't finish counting. And true enough, when I grow up, I work at the bank and I have money that I cannot finish counting. And after working for a period of time, I thought that wish is fulfilled so easily. So I make another wish. I make another wish. And I want to open a bank in the future.
我在上进
And little did I know that last week I
经理
accomplished
让我保管，要
this
我
wish
要我
because the
每天早上
manager
来开大门。
asked me to take care of the key and open the door every morning.
他真的是开银行，
So
开银行大门
opening a bank is like opening the door of the bank.
事实上，人
In
的愿望
reality,
就是我们出生的时候
people's
的
wishes,
一种愿望。
the wishes we
但是
have
你要
when we are
达成
born,
你自己的愿望，
in
当然我们
order
讲
to accomplish
想要努力，
your own
你要努力，我们
wishes,
在鼓励
you
人家，
need
你要努
to
力就可
put
以
in
成功。
efforts.
其实
So you need to
努
work
力
hard
不一
in
定
order
能
to
够成功
succeed. But actually, it's not the case.
你要努力
Working hard
加
does
上
not
你的运气，
necessarily end in success. You
加
have
上
to
你的
add
运，
your good
你的
luck
运，你才能够成功。
in order to succeed. You need hard work
我
plus
自己
luck.
本身很努力，
I
加上我
also
的运，
work very
你是
hard
什么运？
and
今天讲
plus my luck.
我是甲乙木跟丙
So
丁火，
my luck is a jiai wood
木
and
象
binding
征
fire.
30年
So the wood would generate the fire for 30 years. So in my destiny, there is fire,
火
wood,
跟木是相生，
and wood and fire is generating because wood is good for burning. And then I burns for 30 years, then you can accomplish
你
your
命里面不
wishes.
是这种命，
If you have no such destiny, if you don't have such a
是属
destiny
于哪一年？乙酉年
from your birth
我是
time,
乙
date and
丙
time,
丁，我的八字里面带着乙丙丁，丙丁
so
丙
in my birth
丙
time, date and time,
甲乙
there's
乙
Bing
呀就是木，
fire and Jiai is wood.
我的年是乙酉年，
The
其中
year is Iyo
就是
year,
这个
and there's
甲
also wood.
乙
Jiai.
就是木啊，
Yi is the same as wood, and then also fire.
这个是就丙丁火，
Bing
这两个东西存在，
So with these two elements,
相生
they are
下来
generating.
这个火就非常旺，这
Then
一旺30
then the fire is really blazing, and it blazes for 30 years. So that's also the faith of
要
True
旺
Buddha
30
School.
年，但是
So
上面
it would
有
flourish
旺
for
30
30 years.
我
The
跟他讲
fortune teller told
旺
me
40年
that it would flourish for 30 years, but I say it would flourish for 40 years or 50 years or even
是
more.
命啊，这是命运啊，命运，你没
So
有那个
that's
命运，
destiny.
就
Without
很难达到
such
这种。
destiny, it would be hard to
那命
accomplish
运
your
从哪里
wish.
来啊？你的
So
命
where
运从哪
does
里来？
the destiny come
从
from?
你出生的年月
It
日
comes
时
from
来
the
年月
year,
日
month,
分
date,
都很清楚。
minute
你这个命运是怎么排出
of
来？
your birth. So
上天
that's
给你排出来，
that's where it comes from. It comes from
因为你
heavens.
前世就是这样子转世过来。
And why the heavens give you such a destiny? Because it's from your previous lives. So
所
that's
以
your
有时候我
destiny.
们很努力去做
So
这某一件
sometimes
事情，但
you
是
work really hard, you put in a lot of effort, but still you do not
就是没有
succeed.
这个命运。
Why? Because it's not
所以
in your
努力
destiny.
要加上你
So
自
that's
己
why hard work has to be combined with destiny.
就是缘分，
That's
缘分
that's called causes and condition.
你跟众生
The
跟
affinity,
很多的众生有这
affinity
种
with sentient
它
beings.
彼此互
If
相
you have
扶持
such affinity with a lot of sentient beings and they are mutual, then it would
所以我们
generate
铁板
such
神
an
术
effect.
真
So in the
将
Tiepan, in the iron board,
万人归一。
for divination, it said that like a guru of an era and followed
这个
by
黄芪，那么有很多
thousands
人
of
就
people,
问
tens of
尊
thousands of
者呢
people.
我们没有那种缘，也没有那
Some
种命，
people ask
那我
Grandmaster,
们修什么？
if we don't have
不如不
such
修，
affinity
就是
and
照我
have
的
no
意走了，
such
为
destiny,
什么要
why do I
就
want
你
to
看的？
work so hard in
哪
my
有人
spiritual
就这样子
cultivation?
问？
I just follow my
说不行，
destiny. I said, no.
你还没有看了还世性呢，了还世性，
You haven't
你看了
looked
了
at
还
the
世性里面
了
有一个
凡
立命之学，
Si Xin.
立
There
命
is
之学
a science of Li Min.
就是如何改变你自己的命运，
So
改变你自
there's
己
a
的缘。
record of that, like how to change your own destiny,
了
how
还
to
世性这一
change
本书里面
your
立命之学
affinity or
也就是
destiny.
改变你自己的命运。
So
就是颜了凡本身写的
Yan
了
Liao
还
Fan
世
was
性
written, has
其
written
中就
this,
提到
how
这
to
个
change
所谓
your
的
own
命运的问题
destiny.
命运是可以
Liao
改的。
Fan Si Xin.
为什
So
么你
you
要
can
修行？
change your
有很多
destiny.
人讲说，师尊已经讲过了，居然业力是跑来跑去的，不能够改。业是
Grandmaster
跑来
has
跑去不
said
能够
that
改
karma
那我们修
is just moving around and we cannot change it. So why do we want to
学
cultivate
佛
spiritually?
不学
Why do we want
修
to
法，
train in Buddhism?
你
Why
就
do we
照我
want
的
to
命运
perform
走，
Dharma practice? We just follow our destiny. Let it be.
那不行，
No.
因为你这个命运唯有
Because
修行能够改变。
Only spiritual cultivation can change your destiny. The spiritual cultivation can change your destiny. Or if you
做
perform
大
a
恶也
great,
可以改变，
magnificent
大
good
善大
deeds,
恶都可以改变
or
命
a really
加上
bad
修行
deeds
也可以
can
改变
change your
命运。
destiny. Also, spiritual
当然你做
cultivation
小
can
善
change your
哎我
destiny.
看到这个水上马，我把它救起来。
If you see an ant
本
inside
来快要
uh,
下去，快
a
要死
bowl of
救了一只马，这是小
and
善。
and the ant is about to die and then you save it. That's a small good deed.
不会一下子就改变命运。
But that will not change your destiny right
漂
away.
流在水上，
But if you save a huge amount of ants and you put a board of wood and all the ants climb on the wood and the ants were safe,
生命
then that's considered a great good deed.
我们遇到
You
小
save a
善
lot of
也要
lives.
做，
That's great
遇
good
到大
deed.
善也要做。
So you need to
天天
perform
这样做，
both
你命运
small
就改
good
变。
deeds and big good deeds. And then if you
不要
do
看我
them
们
every
今天
single
修
day,
法，
then
你
your
修一
destiny
次
will
的话
gradually
就改
change.
变一点命运。修一
So
次
by
的话就
performing
改变
Dharma practice once, you
你
change your
修了
destiny a little
很
bit.
精进的修了法，
If you're very diligent in performing Dharma practice, then your destiny will be completely changed.
那今天就讲到这里。
That's all for today on Money Dharma.